So, we all heard the news about Matt Kenseth not racing next year, and that really kind of upsets me a little bit. So, I'm going to go on a slow rant. Kenseth was the last Toyota driver that I actually liked. First, it was Edwards, then he left at the beginning of the year, and now it's Kenseth. Like, he's without a ride next year. What kind of idiot doesn't give this guy a ride? He's a past champion who's won a lot of races. And I don't get how you kick him out of his ride and give it to a 21-year-old who hasn't really proved much in the Cup Series this year. Like, yeah, he may have won. He may have led some laps in a race or two, but he hasn't done much to impress me or anyone else for that matter. And after Edwards left, I was like, oh, crap. And they threw Suarez in, that was a big mistake on Joe Gibbs' part. And this is going to be another mistake on Joe Gibbs' part, because that organization is going to go downhill quick. And with Christopher Bell moving up the ranks, now he's going into Xfinity. My thought is, who's next to get basically kicked out of Joe Gibbs? That's really sad. Drivers like Danica are get more priority over drivers who actually compete and be competitive every week. Danica finishes 15th or worse every single week, and yet people are like, she needs a ride. I'm like, why? The only reason she's in the sport is because she's female, and she has sponsors. That's the only reason she's in the sport. It's not because she's good, because she's not. She has, 4 top 10s in her entire Cup career? And 1 top 5 from the Xfinity Series? That's nothing to boast about. I just don't get how people are saying she needs a ride over Kenseth. Really? She has not won a single race in 6 seasons. She has the same equipment as her teammates. Same equipment, and see, one of her teams won the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick just won at Texas. He's won twice this year, and he's going for a championship. Boyer has run decently. He's not doing bad, but he's doing okay. But he's doing a lot better than Danica. She's been irrelevant. All she does is wreck cars, waste money. I'm kind of glad she's out of the 10 next year, but the fact that people are begging other teams to put her in the car is ridiculous. And she's like, oh, I don't want to be in anything but a Cup car. I'm like, what's to prove what? You're not competitive at all. You have 1 pole to your name, and that was the 500 the year you came in, and 4 top 10s in 6 years. 6. And the fact that people drivers like Kenseth don't have a ride lined up, but maybe she does, is stupid. I'm sorry, but stupid. Champion wannabe driver just in the sport because she's female and just for her looks. That's basically how it goes. I used to like Danica at first, but she's kind of has this ego problem. She's really full of herself, and the only thing I commend her on is her discipline and her health, her lifestyle, her health lifestyle, and her working out every day and whatnot. I commend her for that. I respect her for that, but not as a driver. And she's just very ignorant and disrespectful. in my opinion. I'm not trying to hate, like, I'm not trying to offend the Danica fans out there, but she's done nothing with the sport. She's done nothing. We're like, oh, she's brought so much to the sport and brought, like, without her, we don't have any young girl fans. I'm like, that's not a true statement. I was a young girl once. I think I became a fan because I liked fast cars. And the fact that I liked the rainbow car, which was Jeff Gordon, and he is still my favorite driver till this day, all-time favorite. That's the reason why I became a fan. Not because of the gender of who was driving a car. No woman was driving the cup level when I started racing, so that was not the requirement for me to become a fan. If there was a female in the sport or not, I'm like, I really don't care. I could do without Danica in the sport. She can go back to open, like the IndyCar, where she was doing a little bit better, but not as much better. So she just needs to get out of NASCAR as fast as possible. But that's just me. It's just sad that Kenseth is going to be without a ride next year, and probably for the and the fact that Kurt Busch is still negotiating out his deal. I'm like, you should have a deal in place already. Like, you're almost at the end of the season and you still don't have a deal set. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, more updates. Bubba Wallace will be the official driver for the 43 car in the Cup Series next year, and there's going to be an announcement tomorrow about Richard Petty Motorsports and the 43 team, a possible manufacturer move from Ford to something else. I hope it's Chevy, not Toyota. We don't need any more damn Toyotas. We need more Chevys. But I'm happy that Bubba gets a chance to have a full-time ride. And yeah, because he's, no matter what people say, he proved himself by like driving in that car earlier this season to fill in for Eric Almirola when he was hurt. Like, every start he improved, like, his finishes. And people are like, oh, he's just gonna be another seat filler and be a mid-pack driver. I'm like, he wasn't mid-pack at all. Like, maybe the first race, yes, but as he got along, he was like getting closer to like a top 10. But I think he will do very well next year. We have some amazing young talent. We got Byron coming in to drive the 24, Bowman to drive the 88. Still got Chase. He's gonna be driving the number 9 car next year. And then, of course, Bubba. Got Suarez, which I do not like him at all. Got Eric Jones, don't like him either. But there's a lot of great young drivers in this sport, and people still complain that once Dale leaves, the sport's gonna die. And like, let me tell you this: if the sport didn't die when Dale Sr. passed, or Gordon retired, Stewart, Edwards, and now Dale, the sport is gonna be fine. It's in good hands. We still got a lot of veterans that are like top notch that people come to races to watch and see. Like, you gotta give these young drivers a chance. Can't just live in the past and say, oh, sport's going downhill because all the veteran drivers I grew up with are leaving. I'm like, that's just a part of life. That's for every sport. Like, I grew up watching Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. and all these awesome drivers, and now that they are leaving, it's like, I'm excited about the future of the sport with all these young drivers, because it's exciting to watch them and dominate almost every week. Like Chase, he has been dominating in the playoffs. Like, he was like the second most consistent driver in the playoffs. He has only 3 bad finishes, none of his doing, none were his fault. Well, 2 of them New Hampshire was just a hard track in general for him. Two of them he was wrecked out by Joe Gibbs drivers, shockingly enough. So I just wish people would give these young drivers a chance and see that they bring a lot to the sport. They'll have a lot of personality. As you saw in Martinsville, Chase is not that quiet kid that people just assume he is, and from the way he's been just laid back and mild mannered, what he is, but once he's had enough, he's had enough. So he just is shown at Martinsville that he has his fan base is growing, and he'll be the next most popular driver, I guarantee you. And anyway, I'm just a little upset about Matt Kenseth not having a ride next year. I feel it's like a little unfair to him that he's not getting an opportunity, but somehow Danica is, maybe. So it's just sad. But Eric Amarola might be the new driver in the 10 car, hence the Smithfield sponsorship, since Smithfield left Richard Petty Motorsports and went to Stuart Haas Racing. So we might see Eric Amarola in the 10 car next year, which I think is pretty exciting. It's a step in the right direction for Eric. He's going to be in a little bit more competitive car with a bigger team. So excited for him, excited for where the sport's going. And yeah, again, I'll be at Phoenix this weekend. I'm going to go to the Holler Parade on Thursday, early evening. And then I'll be at the races all weekend. To the truck series, my first truck race. Then the Xfinity race, and of course the Cup race. So this should be an exciting weekend. And see who makes the Final Four in every single series. I will keep you guys updated. Have a good night.